I don't know. I think I'm about to go on like a recruitment spree. And then I don't know. When it comes to like the heroic raid, it's really hard because I feel like I'm not hard enough on people.
5, 4, 3.
I just don't know that I'm mean enough to be a mythic raid leader, you know? Like I think I'm too much of a softie, and I don't know that it's anyone's getting any benefit out of me being soft. Well, other than it's like a comfortable raid environment, but then people keep getting mad because we fucking aren't progressing more. If you go straight, I want to have fun and kill bosses. If we can't kill bosses, we need to let some of you go. It's not personal. Yeah, no matter how many times you tell people it's not personal, they'll take it personally, you know? It's just one of the unfortunate facts of that situation. Every time I think about like telling somebody that they're not good enough to play a fucking video game, I have a really hard time. My brain has a really hard time being like, yeah, you should hurt somebody's ego, their real life feelings, their real life ego, their real life beliefs about themselves over a fucking video game, you know? But the problem is then like right now I'm stuck in a position where my feelings are proper hurt because I wasn't hard on because I didn't hurt other people's feelings. My feelings are now currently hurt, and it's just this never-ending cycle. It's like, all right, well, you know, am I the type of person that's going to look out for my feelings before looking out for other people's feelings? Like, and that's where I get stuck. Cause like, I don't want to be that guy, but at the same time feeling like this fucking sucks. I didn't show up to stream multiple times this week because my feelings were hurt. And then it's like affecting my ability to live, to do my work, to do everything else. If I were a leader, I would be like, if you suck worse than me, you gotta go. The problem is that even though I'm in tank stat gear, I do very, very well still. I'm usually at the top of the leaderboard, which is in my mind is like, okay, you should be able to beat me. I'm completely incorrectly statted for this content. Yeah, it's hard, but it can also be mitigated by setting a clear stand-in and letting them know they are welcome in the normal raid. Yeah, Q. So I think another part of the problem is that like I've tried a lot of strategies at this point. Like, I had a shaman healer that I did that very same thing with, Q. Most people don't remember them, but I actually did try that strategy. That person is still very upset. Recently I found out they were talking shit, and that was 4 months ago, 6 months ago. I don't even remember. It was a really long fucking time ago, and they're still very upset about it. I feel like your knowledge of the game is spot on so far in this expansion. Anything minor or major you want to see them change to the current state of the game? My opinion is incredibly biased by my feelings right now. My feelings, if I were to boil it down to a singular fact, stem from them gatekeeping Valor and Sparks, and not having the upgrade option from normal to mythic gear that they had in season 4. If they had kept those things in place that they had in season 4, uncapped Valor, like really no limitations on loot, like you can grind your way to the best possible gear. I don't think ultimately the difference between 19s and 20s is not really gear related. It's part gear related, part knowledge related. So if their goal was to make it so that 20s were legitimately difficult, I think they would have kept that intact without limiting my ability to get there without having access to a mythic raid.
5, 4,
which meant I would have been able to carry
2,
a lot more. I wouldn't have had to, I didn't make the decision to tell people that like they weren't doing enough damage, they weren't doing enough mechanics. I still haven't said that to a single person, but I needed to. And my feelings right now are because I didn't do that. And I could have just carried them if they hadn't limited those things. So I would like to see them take the fucking Valor cap out of this fucking game. I don't know. At the end of the day, people, their perception of their skill in this game is a lot higher than their actual skill is. But it's still a social game at the end of the day, and nobody's gonna play a game where they feel like shit or constantly be made to feel like shit, right? So there's two parts to that. Is what I either have to tell you you're not good at this game repeatedly until you either stop playing the game or you make the decision to change, which isn't fun, period. Going through change and growth and stuff like that is often an arduous process, right? And then the other option is that like you can't get anything done because like there's this like dichotomy between, the social aspect like in general, most people don't go through their life being told they're not good enough at something, right? Like even your shittiest job that you've ever had is your shittiest job because your boss was that piece of shit, right? Who wants to come to their off time, to their video game time, and be told to be forced to do the same thing they have to do in their real life, right? Like that's not the point of a video game. So I don't know. It's just this very confusing thing. And if they would just take these fucking caps off, I can just carry everyone, and then I don't have to say anyone's not good enough. Negative. I can just do more.
Range 5.
Just give me unlimited access to gear so that I don't ever have to be a dickhead. That's my change to this game. Use our guild mythic prog group, for example. We currently have a player that plays with one hand and doing the normal heroic raid. And his DPS is lower than the tank, but that's fine. We can carry the load. But in mythic, we cannot have one person below the tank's DPS for prog. Yeah, and I think that's the kind of the whole point of mythic, is like to be this competitive like place for people to kind of to flex their skill, right? Like if you play Valorant, right? Like you have one hand, that's fine, because as long as you're having fun playing the game and you know like, hey, I'm never gonna reach this like level or whatever. Like if you never can get to gold or whatever, like I don't know what the ranking system in Valorant is. I literally have never played. You know, you just accept that. But like this is a social game, right? Like this is a game where people often want to like hang out and like this is the original social media almost. It's just a struggle to be like, hey, yeah, we love you, we want you to be a part of this group, but we have to exclude you for this content for us to do it. I don't know. I don't have a disability, so it's hard for me to say like, oh, this is probably how people play when they play, or how they feel when they're playing.
I have actually thought that if you are a casual player, that maybe it's you would be happier, because I mean, think about it. You're always trying to achieve something unachievable. You want your IO to be higher, or you want to go on Mythic or kill Rasaget on Mythic or whatever, and you are not happy. You will never be happy because you will almost never achieve that goal, you know. So I have thought for a long time that that's a thing that makes you feel bad about it, you know.
Yeah.
Like you always want to be on the top. You always want to be competitive. That makes you feel kind of miserable. It's also a very high maintenance status. I mean, you need to clear a lot of plus 16s or whatever to have good gear to be good at the raid.
Yeah, that was the next kind of thing I wanted to mention, like as part of my larger argument, is that like at the end of the day, like sometimes the reality is that most people, that I think that the first problem is something that I see very prevalent throughout society in general, in every aspect of my life personally, is that a lot of people can't accept that they're not good at shit. Myself included, to be fair. I mean, I let not being able to get a 20 done really fuck up my head, right? And maybe I just wasn't good enough. I saw it in pharmacy school. I saw it in community college. I saw it in like a lot of places, right? Like the frustration would always be to blame the teacher, to blame the system, to blame the whatever, right? And then separately, I do that like, why am I not rich? It's because the system is not set up for me to be rich. It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with my skill, right? And maybe the system is fucked up. I don't know. But we could also argue that I'm not rich because, I don't save fucking money. I decided to be a streamer. 1,000,001 different fucking choices I made throughout life and time, right? There was quite a bit I may not be able to control this system, but there was quite a bit I could have controlled. But yeah, I like going through runs, hearing where I messed up and what I could have done that moment. Then I reflect and think how to improve on the next time. Losing is part of winning. Yeah, I actually do agree with that, but sometimes it can be overwhelming when like it's over and over and over again, and then you go into a group sometimes too where it's like you're able to time something, right? And then it starts to create this feeling like, oh hey, that wasn't my fault, right? And you don't see that like you were carried or whatever, or that other people took care of these mechanics. So at the beginning it's like, oh, things are going really poorly, and then things start going really well. And it's like, oh, well, I was able to time this Court of Stars. And then it's like, oh, well, it's just HOV. HOV's the problem. It's not, you know, the fact that we missed a bunch of kicks. It's HOV that's the problem. The timer's not long enough. It's this and it's that. Anyways, I don't know that my suggestions will actually improve this game. What I know is that it would improve my fucking life, and I think I have a good handle on what the people around me need. Maybe not necessarily what they think or what they want, but I do have a good handle on what they need. And I think that I could have fixed a lot of problems with my suggestions. Yeah, that is the reason why I asked you, because you look at it in the game in a wide community view, not just for yourself. That's why I say your opinions are good. Thanks, man. I appreciate you saying that. With that being said, I do think that, like, from a personal fun perspective, they've really got to redesign the quest system. Like, the quest system badly needs an overhaul. It is not fun. I do not enjoy it. I have not enjoyed it. I've never enjoyed questing in World of Warcraft. And I think that the last thing they did that was great was in Legion when they added dailies, and it was fun and cute then, but it has quickly worn out its fucking welcome. I think they really should add more of I don't think you need to like rehaul the whole game in order to redo quests. What I think is that you should make quests where it's more like live action is maybe what I want to say. I don't play other games, so it's hard for me to use the right gaming words.
You play New World?
Yeah, like new. I would argue like New World, but like better, because I didn't really like New World. I think you need to get rid of the global system and make it like in questing specifically. I don't care if you change that in Raid or whatever. Like, I'm very comfortable with the way the game plays in Raid, but like questing is fuck off boring. Also, I'm sick of fucking leashing. If I'm a uber geared fucking tank, I should be able to pull the whole fucking world, and no one should stop me. Pull the hashtag pull the world. That's what I'm saying, dog. I want to pull the whole fuck off world, and I do not want to be stopped.